Hello, and welcome to ISSIP's semi-annual mid-year progress report, open to all members of ISSIP community at any level and in any role. We're very glad that you're here today. Ask that you please mute if you're not the speaker on camera, and we strongly encourage you to use the chat to ask any questions, to make comments. Participation strongly encouraged. With that, to officially welcome you and open the call, let me introduce the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals 2024 President, Deb Stokes of Dell Technologies.
Thank you, Michelle. I want to welcome you all and thank you for joining our virtual connection today. Like I was saying earlier, it's so exciting to see so many people from across the globe who are joining in for our session today. You know, I think our twice a year agreement is that we will report twice a year the year-to-date progress to the ISSIP boards of director and the ISSIP community. So you can hear about all of the priorities updates and what are some of our objectives that we'll have going forward for the second half of the year. So back in the January call, I shared that our primary goal for this year was going to be to accelerate growth. And you'll see from the metrics that Jim and Michelle will be sharing shortly, not only are we growing, but we are growing at an accelerated pace. Our numbers are up for individual and institutional participants, 1,840 individuals, over 1,800 individuals. And more importantly, our donors are up. We have 6 new donors that will be participating in the call, hopefully today. You know, our engagements are expanding and deepening. We have new programs that you're going to hear more about today from the individuals driving those programs, the AI collaboration, My Teamee, which sounds just so fun, sounds like a superhero there, and the Give, Get, Grow opportunities that we're pursuing now. Along with the significant growth and the scope and the participation in ISSIP's traditional awards and ambassador program, we're seeing a tremendous increase in what we're doing there and the people that are contributing. So, you know, again, the energy and the excellence of our leaders and our team contributors are making all of this happen. And so, you know, I'd like to call out a few of those opportunities that we have going on and the new contributors and some special recognition for their efforts for the first half of the year. So I think we're going to the next slide, and please do mute if you are not speaking right now. So Alexandra will present the impact to business, the report from the Cisco team's award-winning project. Giselle is going to share the Versad innovation project that won the Excellence in Service Innovation for impact on society. And Eve is going to share the MedPearl Providence Healthcare collaboration that won for impact to innovation. Deb Satterfield, who unfortunately can't be with us today, she's on her way back from France from the HSSE conference. She is leading the AI Collab, which is just the most insightful abbreviation for the academic industry collaboration. And she's got a number of semesters under her belt now for the work around AI and digital twins. So Jim will be sharing more about that with you. It is the real Jim that will be sharing that with you today, not the AI digital twin that the students created last semester for Jim to share with us. Christine, who is a distinguished engineer at IBM, is currently in China, but I think I heard her on the call. But she's done a stellar job leading the ISSIP Ambassador Program and then developing a tremendous support team in place for that program. So you're going to be hearing from Yueming and Utpal. And I have to say, Utpal gets a special recognition from me personally because of the automation done for the production of the ISSIP Ambassador certificates. So we look forward to hearing more about them and what they're doing. So profound thanks to all of these huge contributors on the ISSIP community directions. Moving forward to the next slide for the second half of the year focus, while we'll continue to do the great initiatives from the first half of the year, second half we're going to focus on what we call scaffolding. You know, how are we going to strengthen the foundation and the frameworks for ISSIP to continue the growth, documenting our processes, and really making sure that our service role descriptions are up to speed. You know, I want to do 2 call outs in particular for those activities. One is Jim, who you all know is our ISSIP co-founder, board director, and literally the heart and soul of the ISSIP community. So Jim is going to share the updated ISSIP handbook, which was a painstaking process involving individual meetings with each of our board members. It just simply a huge undertaking to update what we felt like we really needed to have so ISSIP participants would really understand these are the directions we're going in and how we accomplish what we plan to accomplish. And so, Jim is so humble. He won't take any credit for this and his many other ISSIP contributions, but please, let's give Jim a round of applause because he definitely deserves that level of recognition for what he's done with the handbook and everything else that Jim gives us. I do want to also highlight that not only do we have Jim as the heart and soul of ISSIP, we have Michele, who's literally the brains and the arms and the legs, because her leadership is just so critical and important to how we accomplish all the metrics that you're going to be hearing more about shortly. As our executive director since 2022, she has just become such an impactful driver for the great growth that we're seeing. Think about the new website, which we've recently launched. Take a look. It's fabulous if you haven't looked at it yet. The 6 new institutional donors we have and the myriad of other responsibilities that she delivers that strengthen our foundation and basic scaffolding for our ISSIP community. So I want to just say my personal thank you very much for everyone that's the leaders. More importantly, I want to thank all of you all on the call and those who couldn't join the call in person today, because that's what makes ISSIP such a powerful community and professional organization. It's the total contributions of all the individuals who are participating in ISSIP, and that's going to really be the engine that propels us forward as we make impact on people, on business, and society for service innovations. And with that, Michele, I think I turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Deb, for the kind words and for your leadership. The recognition of each other for all that each does is one of the greatest things about this community. So thank you. Our agenda for this single hour together is packed, as you see, and it's designed to be a showcase of the leaders and the programs they're managing, the meat of what ISSIP is all about. So I'm going to briefly do key metrics to show you what we measure and how it's looking, all good. And then Jim will share a little more deeply what it is that our community is engaging on, which topics are most popular. And then we'll go over the awards. And as Deb mentioned, we've got with us on the call all 3 of the top high impact award winners who will give a 2-3 minute update on what their work was that earned the recognition. So that's exciting. We want to make sure we have time for that. Deb Satterfield's AI Collab, then a 2-3 minute update. Christine Ouyang and I believe Yueming are going to present the ambassadors update. Vaishali Mane, the Give, Get, Grow program. And then Utpal also 2-3 minutes to talk about VP for 2025, call for nominations when it opens. And then Jim will delve a bit more into this handbook and the code of conduct and guidebook, along with his Treasury report, which he does every 6 months for us. And that should leave us with a nice block of time at the end to hear from each of our board directors who have all committed to participate or send in. There are slides for the couple that couldn't make it, their assessment of progress to date this year and priorities going forward. So to the high level metrics. So what we measure, we said we want to build awareness of ISSIP and grow our organization, accelerate the growth pace. And our awareness we measure by LinkedIn followers. And that's just exciting, continues to grow. In January, we reported we were up 40% to 953. And now by the end of June, we were up at 1152, which continues to grow, maintaining pace, looking good. Participants in the community, as Deb said, now up to 1842. We had shared 1750 with you in January. So that's cool. And engagement is also up. Are people valuing the community and patching in, engaging? And you'll hear from each of these leaders in each of those programs, the AI Collab, ambassadors, awards, and events, that indeed they are. So across events, we've had 9 already in the first half of this year. with roughly the same, a little more for a first half number of participants, but the trend continues where we have hundreds of participants. We've got double, more than double that check us out later, the recording on YouTube and SlideShare. That trend continues. You'll hear from the big 3 award winners, and just thanks to the community for the nominations, good, robust participation. There were 11 distinguished recognitions also bestowed in addition to the 3. More than 200 credentials. That's people contributing to service innovation, to ISSIP programs, speaking, publishing, contributing to our ops, contributing to projects that advance service innovation. More than 200 already this year, and in all of last year, I think it was 173, which was growth in itself. Yueming will share with you there are 19 at this midway through the year point, new ambassadors. We only announce ambassadors once a year, so this is 19 already approved among a much larger group that have applied and are being evaluated and interviewed, and we'll announce the full set in January. There were about 9 at this point last year. But 9 books published by members, written and published with the editorial guidance of Haluk and Jim already year to date, and a great pipeline there. Also cooking 4 of the 10 conferences we collaborate with, where ISSIP 2 and where ISSIP judges best paper contributions were already managed in the first half of the year. And there have been 21 blog posts, and every month we do the ISSIP news. 2 things. Among those 21 blog posts, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that there are also within them deeper insights pieces contributed by ISSIP leaders. And if you'll look on the new website, isip.org, news, all the news is there. And at the bottom is a new constantly updated piece of those showcasing those insights pieces. So please have a look at that. And editor-in-chief of the ISSIP News is a service role that is still open, and we'd sure welcome nominations for that. With that, let me turn it over to Jim.
Great. Thank you, Michele. And so Michele has provided ISSIP by the numbers, and you can see the numbers are quite good. And Deb, thanks for that shout out in your introduction. Just to recap for everybody, Deb Stokes is our president of ISSIP this year. Nicole Reinecke is our vice president, and we also have on our past president, Utpal Mangla, who has a slide later on about the upcoming election. And just a little bit of trivia for ISSIP fans. It's the VP becomes the president the following year, and then the president becomes the election chair the following year. So we've got a slide ready to go. Utpal, if you want to say hello, I know you may have to dart off for a customer meeting. We have very busy people in ISSIP. Do you want to say hello, Utpal, while...
I want to say hello to everybody and team. I do have a call in 15 minutes. If we don't get to that slide, Jim will do the duty. But looking forward, actually very excited to see who would be the 2025 VP. So everybody put in your nominations and make some recommendations.
Great. Thanks, Utpal. Yeah, and just to highlight some of the highlights. So we do have a YouTube channel. We're getting more views. We're finding that the short videos get more views. One of our biggest views with 111 views was our Mighty Me, all about T-shaped skills. And if you don't know what T-shaped skills are, that's one of the key things we look at in ISSIP is T-shaped skills. We also have a Penn State University Industry Transformation Series, getting a lot of good views on that. And of course, I have to do a huge shout out because Michele's been really active working with colleagues in Japan. Kazu Shimada from Japan Science and Technology, a former donor to ISSIP, and also Christine Leitner, who's one of our co-chairs of Human Side of Service Engineering on the AI and Democracy series. We also have SlideShares where we post the presentations, and we're getting a social media team that's going to start tracking these and promoting these. So we expect these numbers will go up. But I also just want to highlight these three important areas where we're getting good engagement on social media and good engagement from participants. And we'll go to the next slide, please, Michele. And people often ask me, so what's your measure of success for ISSIP, Jim? And I'll tell you, honestly, it's when participants in our community understand service better and share their knowledge about service and service systems better and service innovation better, and just share that knowledge and get some recognitions, because it's so easy to accumulate some knowledge about service systems, service innovation, and share that knowledge and get some recognition. And I think that's helped a lot of people in their professional development. I know a lot of 12 years ago when we started ISSIP, I know some students are now VP of major sections of major companies. So it's great to see that journey. This slide recaps some of our conferences. As Michele mentioned, Deb Satterfield, who's one of the co-chairs of the Human Side of Service and Engineering, they met in Nice, France recently. We gave out Best Paper Awards, so a lot of digital certification, a lot of recognition for the folks there. I'm not going to go through all of these conferences, but we have ambassadors that help link us to those. Michelle Leonard, who joined from Switzerland, started the International Exploration of Service Science Conference. I was actually over there in Brno, Czech Republic for that, and we had a fantastic meeting. So thank you, Michelle, for being one of our ambassadors and starting one of the great conferences that ISSIP supports. Next slide, please. This is the engagement report in terms of badges like digital certifications. Most people that get a badge, it's for knowledge sharing eminence. That's the ability to share knowledge in a panel, an online meeting, or a conference. Others, digital certifications that were sent out are around our excellence in service innovation. We had 102 participants in the community get distinguished recognition, and over 24 for the annual winners. And our annual winners are in three categories. There's impact on business, impact on society, and impact on innovation. And we'll hear more from the winners shortly. But again, this is the inner loop of ISSIP is to share knowledge and get recognition. So next slide, please.
Okay. So Haroon did have I'm not muted, right? Haroon did have a conflict come up just this morning. So asked that we stand in for him. And I wanted to just commend Haroon for the last 2 years chairing this awards team. He announced on the January call that Yasi Mogadam had joined the team, and now Bhuvi Chopra has also just joined. So we wanted to announce that today for, you know, a good team of judges that are handling the call for nominations, evaluation, the ranking, the rigorous review that takes place, and then announcement of the awards. So we do have, and we want to get right to, all 3 of our Impact Award winners with us today, I believe on the call. I see one. Do we have actually for Impact to Business, is Alejandro Eguiarte of Cisco with us? So I didn't see Alejandro.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are? Excellent. Please share with us your 2-3 minutes of this amazing work.
Yeah, sure. Can we share some slides, or I just talk about the solution?
Jim, your opinion on that? I'm thinking
Just talk about it, because we've only got a short period of time, Alejandro. Sorry for that, but just
oh, yeah, no worries. I was not sure about exactly. So this is about Cisco SR Health. I am in the TAC engineering team, and basically SR Health is about solving a problem for us. So Cisco receives about 1.6, 1.8 cases for support. It could be as simple as just getting an RMA to fixing a complex problem on the network. And even though we have a very consistent process for delivering these services to all of our customers, we wanted to have a tool that can provide engineers and anybody that has to do with the delivery with some information about how the delivery is doing. Are there any challenges or something that can be done proactively? And this is where SR Health comes in. So basically, this is an AI-driven solution where we are trying to predict the sentiment on how the delivery is going. Is it going okay? Do we need to engage escalation? Do we need to engage the BU? Are we having problems with the delivery of a part if this was an RMA, or do we have a continuous time of outage and that kind of thing? So this delivery of sentiment prediction allows us to provide this in real time. So this way we can engage the necessary resources very early in the life of a case. Some other benefits is that we are able to kind of revisit any challenges that may have happened during the delivery of the support, so that we can make adjustments. And of course, this translates into making sure that we're not only consistent in the way we provide the process, but also in the way that the delivery is always excellent. And so far, the SR Health has been able to provide around 11 million predictions in the last fiscal year. Because again, this is, even though we get only like 1.6, 1.8 million cases per year, we provide this sentiment prediction in real time every time something happens on the case. And the impact directly to the business is that we have seen improvement in the customer satisfaction from 82 to 90, which is very remarkable, because it means that we're doing a better job in tracking what is working, what is not working for Cisco in terms of support.
Nice, thank you. And Alejandro, my apologies. The slide is up now for all three of the award winners that Haroon had prepared.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Those are impressive measures. For impact to society, I did see Giselle Mota from Versed. Are you on the call?
I am. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
There she is. Who, by the way, Giselle is going to be keynoting the democracy event on August 21st. So please sign up for that one as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you. So it's such a pleasure to be here with you all, and I'm excited to be able to share what this award was all about. I have a project by my company called Versed. The project is called Nifty Collective. I put the link in the chat so that you can kind of see it for yourself later on if you want to follow and learn a little bit more about the project. But basically, we are taking people with disabilities, as you're probably going to see in the Paralympics this year. In fact, one of our athletes, or one of our members, is named Lex Gillette. He's a part of Nifty Collective. He's a blind Paralympian from the United States. We have actors, speakers, consultants. We have people from all around the world who have some sort of visible or unseen disability or physical difference. We have, for example, someone who was a victim of an acid attack in India, yet she's a spokesperson, and she helps this community in India of other women who have been attacked with domestic violence issues as well, now kind of have these deformations in their body, and they carry that. What we've done is we've taken these avatars, we've created them in 3D. They are animated, and they're being able to be used in augmented reality experiences. We were featured in Paris, in Viva Tech, along with great organizations like Meta and several others, where you literally would take out your mobile device, click on their sign, and see our characters come to life. And you'll learn about people with disabilities, and we're bringing that into gaming, into other technological experiences, and really just trying to bring accessibility and disability representation into spaces like the metaverse and AI and et cetera, that normally were not created with that in mind. So that is what we're about. We've been featured across several places like Vogue Magazine, PC Magazine, and a few others, and we continue pressing this forward. So thank you so much, and I'm sure you'll be able to check out more of the project.
Awesome. Thank you, Giselle. Great work. Great recap. And then on impact, the award winner for impact to innovation itself was the MedPearl Providence collaboration and Eve Cunningham. is going to be representing.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, I actually go by Evie. So I'm Evie Cunningham. I'm the Chief of Virtual Care and Digital Health at Providence, and I'm the founder of MedPearl. And I'm an OBGYN physician by training. Thank you so much for inviting us to present today. This has been such an exciting product that we've been working on, MedPearl, and we really appreciate the recognition from ISSIP as we go through the process of building a product that we're eventually going to be spinning out of Providence as a health system. So basically, the mission of MedPearl is to restore the joy in the practice of medicine and restore joy in receiving care too, because we know as patients it's very difficult to navigate this system. And the core problem that we're trying to solve is that, physicians, clinicians are suffering from a TMI problem. There is just way too much information. Medical knowledge doubles every 90 days. When I went to medical school, it doubled every 20 years. So it's just not humanly possible for us to keep up with everything that we need to know. In addition, since the introduction of the electronic health record, while it's been a great thing to make health records electronic, there are piles and piles and piles of information accumulating in digital patient charts. And I saw a statistic recently. It's estimated that a physician has maybe the time to consume about 3% of what's in a patient's chart in the context of a visit. So we just cannot, it's not cognitively possible for us to consume everything that's in patients' charts. And then the information that's in the patient chart is not organized clinically around context. So what we did is, and then further exacerbating this, okay, is dysfunction that occurs because there's too much information. We can't consume the information, and we can't make really good decisions at the point of care in the moment when we have 1 or 2 minutes. And so this leads to access challenges, missed opportunities, or require multiple visits to find out what to do with a patient, because we just don't have the ability to kind of filtrate through all the information and all the stuff that's in the patient's chart. And this is a clinical problem. And so what we did is we built a platform where we can bring together physicians, clinicians in an interdisciplinary way in a no-code environment where they can collaborate and create clinical guidance, next best actions, pathways, and correlate that clinical guidance with the appropriate patient data that would be relevant to making a decision about the patient's care. And we bring that together in the back end, and then we publish it in a way where it's connected to the electronic record. So when I use MedPearl, which I saw patients this morning, so I used MedPearl this morning, I go into a patient's chart, I click on a Pearl button basically in the electronic record, and MedPearl launches and it knows which patient's chart I'm in. And as I'm looking up different conditions or things to do with my patient, it surfaces all the relevant data around that particular condition and gives me some quick guidance on next best actions to remind me what to do. We built this platform over the last 3 years. We started with a pilot at Providence, first with 200 clinicians. We did a very focused human-centered design with the clinicians to say, how do we build supportive technology for you that you would want to use at the point of care that you would adopt? And since then, we now have a library of over 700 guides and algorithms that constitutes about 95% of what a primary care clinician would see on any given day in their clinic. And we've had over 15,000 clinicians using it. We have an average of about 5,000 clinicians, monthly active users just at Providence, over 300,000 searches. And we've started a pilot in an academic medical center external to Providence, and we have about 3 other health systems that we're going to start pilots with over the course of the next 6 months. So really starting to bring this supportive technology. Some of the metrics that we've gotten, we've demonstrated reduced after hours time. So we call it pajama time for clinicians, where they're sitting and they're doing charting after hours. We've reduced that by 2 hours on average per month per clinician user. We've improved their EHR or electronic health record efficiency scores. We've improved clinician productivity. So we're really making every visit count for the patient and the clinician. They maximize and upskill them to their highest level of licensure. And we've demonstrated a reported improved confidence level in referring patients and working them up. So really driving into that burnout challenge that the clinicians are feeling and giving them the right information at the right time at the point of care to supercharge their decision-making.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all three of you, Alejandro, Giselle, and Evie. Thank you very much for taking time to give us the kind of teaser look at what you've done. We'll be following up to invite you to do a weekly talk, be in that series.
Absolutely.
With a fuller interactive conversation.
We'd love
Hey,
to do
Evie,
the
can you
demo
come bring this to
someday.
Canada too? Because we need it in Canada, please.
Yes, actually, we've had Canada, we've actually had government Canada reach out to us. So we've been doing, so we can talk offline, but
Yeah, I added you on LinkedIn. Let's talk offline because I'm seriously invested in this and I know the healthcare industry. Offline,
Yes,
super.
let's talk
I mean,
offline.
go to chat right now, and thank you all very, very much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
So let's move over to our ambassadors update from, is Christine Ouyang on the call, or is it Yueming Zhu today?
I think I'll be talking for Christine. I don't see Christine here.
Okay, there's a different Christine on the call is what we all heard. So good morning, Yueming.
Good morning. And actually, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm here, but I'm sick, so it's better
Okay.
let Yueming talk because that was our original plan anyway. So go ahead, Yueming.
Okay.
You do
thanks.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Yueming, and nice to meet everyone here. I just want to give a brief introduction of myself. I'm currently working at IBM as a hardware developer, and I have been here working about 3 years. Around the beginning of this year, Christine introduced me to ISSIP, and I'm now the ISSIP Ambassador Program Manager. I'm really honored to introduce the 19 new ambassadors who joined ISSIP this year. As we can see here, we have a really diverse group of ambassadors who are MSEs in diverse areas, directly or indirectly related to services. And the new crowd also brought ISSIP great connections to external organizations. Like we have Spring Han here from Kyoto University Graduate School of Management, who has also recently had an interview with Cecilia. Thank you both for creating the inspiring video. I really enjoyed it. I found Spring's video idea of having a platform to address localized issue very interesting, which could help people to feel safer when they ask for help, and also can help local government to more efficiently distribute funds for most needed areas. We also have ambassadors working in the AI and cloud areas to enable technical part of services. So let's welcome Akhil, who is a cybersecurity lead at Synopsys, and also Kartik, who is a CFO working at multiple AI companies. And the last but not least, as a hardware developer, I want to say that though services seems to be more closely related to software, hardware is still the backbone of it. So let's welcome Diana, who is a Z mainframe architecture lead from IBM. Hello. Due to the time limit, I wasn't able to go through the whole list, but welcome everyone, and thanks a lot for your contribution to ISSIP. Is there any questions? Okay, if not, I'll pass it to Jim. Thanks.
Thank you, Yueming. Next slide. Yeah, I just want to highlight very, very briefly that thanks to Cecilia Lee, one of our longtime ambassadors, she's running the interview series. So we've got interviews going up on the ISSIP YouTube, and I just watched two that aren't, I've watched these two and they're great, but I just watched two others, and the caliber of our ambassadors is really impressive. And I urge you to, most of these interviews are just 15 to 20 minutes long. So I really urge you to take a look at those. And another one of our new ambassadors, Jan Simon Vet, from Berkeley Design. He has started writing a blog series, and that's one of the things that we ask our ambassadors that you can do is just share knowledge in a blog post on ISSIP. And if you have any questions, I'm going to put into the chat. info@issip.org is a great email. If you ever have a question for Michele, myself, other people in general at ISSIP, just remember info@issip.org and you should. So next slide, Michele. And Deb Satterfield is our lead for the ISSIP AI Collab, which stands for our academic industry collaboration. And she's somewhere probably between Europe and the US. Hope she's getting some rest, but it was a fantastic conference. She's one of the co-chairs. So she asked me if I could just give you a quick update, and I will, that we have really had fantastic engagement with University of Washington, Tacoma. They run a very special, and I think they got distinguished recognition on the awards this year, a very special collaboration for entrepreneurs working in the financial sector. And we've had some of our ISSIP executives from various companies mentor some of the students and student teams putting together entrepreneurial projects. So that was a big success. And we're getting organized around a survey that we're going to send out. So if you're on the industry side and think you'd like to be a mentor, or even just a guest lecturer, or Deb always says, you know, the thing her students always ask for is mock interviews. So if you're an executive with experience interviewing people and you don't have a job opening, but you'd like to share like 30 minutes with a few students to do mock interviews with them, Deb says that's another great thing that can be part of the AI Collab, and the students really appreciate it. And the survey will also cover universities that have student teams that would like to be part of the collab, and you can see the list down at the bottom. Deb herself's at Cal State University Long Beach. They've done amazing projects. San Jose State University students, I want to shout out to Steve Kwan, who's one of our ISSIP fellows, who's helped us with that. Penn State University, Vital Prabhu, who also runs a series, and I already mentioned University of Washington, Tacoma, but always happy to add other universities if they have student teams that would like to work with industry mentors. So, yes. Very good. Michele, did you want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, so then give you one speaking break, Jim, before your stuff comes up next. But Jim has been working very closely with Vaishali. Is Vaishali on the call? Let me just double check. I think she was not. Is Vaishali?
I'm here, Michele.
Oh, you are here. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. So this is Vaishali Mane here, and I have had this opportunity to be the community lead for membership. Together, Jim, Michele, and I have put together something. And at ISSIP, we believe that the finest way to learn is by giving. It's by sharing your knowledge. While we are giving, we are also gaining. We also receive knowledge, and that's how we grow the community. So we have this theme where we say give, get, grow, and that's how we are growing. Keeping the energy that we have in the room right now with all the award winners, all the leaders, and everything will move on to all the people who join us. So the people who join us new, we do have quarterly welcome sessions in the first or second week of every quarter. We did have in Q1 2024 where 25 participants joined ISSIP as new members. And that was across the global timing. So we did make it in the morning and in the evening. Jim did a good job. Jim and Michele and I worked together. And the recent one, we only had it in the US timing. We'll make sure that we accommodate everyone possibly, because we are a global community. And the common themes, the way we people given this nice, update saying that, oh, we have this is the reason why we want to join. This is what we think is give. It could be enthusiasm, working together, building teams, building groups and projects. And get is a professional recognition. There's one example that we have here, and that's how we grow together. The upcoming next event would be on 11th of September for the third quarter for this year. Is there anything anyone wants to ask on this one? And everyone is welcome to bring in buddies just like them, very talented, very, very confined, very limited to the service innovation space and doing a lot in the technical areas. So this is all about give, get, grow. Let's grow together by giving, getting, and being a part of the community.
The only thing I want to add is a quick commendation to Vaishali for stepping up. This is good turnout for the first 2 quarterly events, and people just really seem to appreciate it, and they're rotating the time so that it's convenient around the globe at different times, you know, as we go. As we grow, this is the program that Vaishali is leading that'll help us be a little better connected with each other as we get bigger. So thank you very much. That takes us to Utpal, who I believe did need to leave, and we're going to leverage that opportunity to get back on time. We're going to do our call for nominations for the vice president of ISSIP by social media and newsletter shortly after mentioning it here on this call. But basically, the vice president next year under Nicole Reineke's presidency would be president in the following year. That's how it typically flows. So I believe there's going to be a link in the chat if you have a nomination in mind, and self-nominations are welcome. And that'll be taking place. The evaluation, interviews, vice presidential candidates putting their platform forward, their vision in the August-September timeframe. Anything else on that, Jim?
No, that's great.
All right, awesome. So we want to make sure we have time to dig into the new handbook outlook. Let me turn it over to Jim.
Yeah, just very quickly, I'm the board member who is the secretary and treasurer. So I give a quick treasurer report. That's how much we have in the checking. That's how much we have in the savings. So if you know of donors, we're also going to have a donor survey coming up shortly. So if anybody's got ideas, again, a great way to communicate is info@isip.org. If you've got ideas, please do send an email or directly to myself, Spohrer at gmail.com or Michele@isip.org. Next slide, please. I am so happy that we had an ISSIP handbook that Haluk and Ralph Badinelli, 2 board members from back when, created in 2016, but it was long and we had some sections that were to be written. I was able to work with every board member to get a 10-page ISSIP handbook created. So this is shorter than the old one. It's complete. Each page highlights one aspect of the handbook. And the key thing about it is we now have our code of conduct more visible in a survey. We like everybody in the ISSIP community to go out and check out the code of conduct and put your signature, you know, basically your email that you've read and understand our code of conduct. And I'll make sure that link gets into the chat. But that's really it. The biggest compliment I got is someone that read the handbook who knew a little bit about ISSIP said, wow, I now fully understand ISSIP. This is the best overview I've ever seen of the whole set of programs you've got, platforms you've got, what you do, the certification. So if you want a quick primer, I think I can actually put a version of it into the Slack here as well for people who haven't seen it. I'll try to figure that out, as well as the link to the code of conduct.
And it's going up today or tomorrow on the website in the footer under bylaws. So everybody can go to isip.org, bylaws at the bottom, you'll see the handbook and the code of conduct.
Oh, great. Thanks, Michele. Cool. And kudos, Michele, for the new ISSIP website. Really great. Anyway, I think that's all I'll say about the handbook and the code of conduct, and I'll make sure some links get put in there. Oh, and next up, we have, just to wrap up, we've got like 15 minutes left, and we're going to have what the priorities are from the board members. So if we go to the next slide, Vanita Wells from Meta, Reality Labs there, she went with me to the Computer History Museum with our great San Jose State University students who built the digital twin of me. And we like to celebrate with the next generation of ISSIP members by going to the Computer History Museum with some of us folks who lived the history. I guess that's the best way. Previous to this time, we actually went with one of my old buddies from Apple who actually signed the back plane of the very first Macintosh that came out. Martin Haberly was there. So definitely stay tuned for that. But Vanita said, and I'll just read it. I had the pleasure, along with Jim Spohrer, of visiting the Computer History Museum with several ISSIP participating students from San Jose State University. I'll skip this next part, but I am a treasure trove of stories. I know a lot of the history. To see the products and so forth. She thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to connect the past technology breakthroughs of the displays with the future innovation potential of these talented students. And we all had a great time. And we do a lot online with ISSIP, mostly online, but it's great to get together in person at the Computer History Museum and other places as well. So if we go to the next slide, Jeff Welser, he's our board member from IBM. And Jeff says, first, it would be nice, and he's on vacation. Both Vanita and Jeff are on family vacations. First, it would be nice to have some ready-made materials for using to advertise ISSIP in our various organizations. Second, happy to host a visit to IBM Research Almaden in San Jose for an ISSIP group sometime in 2025. So thank you, Jeff. Those are some of his priorities. Next up, before I see Warner, so I'm going to turn it over to Warner after me. But I just want to, on my slide, I'm just going to shout out that my priority, now that the updated ISSIP handbook and code of conduct are in place, I want to focus on students creating an AI-enabled ISSIP guidebook for service roles for onboarding more ISSIP volunteers, because many hands make light work. And I do want to shout out to Arne Bacha. His father is one of the leaders of open source AI at IBM. And before I retired, I knew Arne's dad really well. And so when he reached out to me and said, my son Arne has just started the AI club at his high school and he's looking for a project, I said, oh, do I have a project for Arne? And Arne is building the open source AI digital twin of me, coming to YouTube soon. And he's used 3 different open source tools. You can't read the flowchart here, but there'll be a blog post about what Arne has done. Again, just he's applying for colleges. Any college, I think, would be very, very happy to get him. He's wanting to major in computer science and AI. And we'll have more material coming about the guidebook shortly. But we'll have basically an AI system that you can ask any question about ISSIP to. And, you know, I'd like to volunteer for this. I'd like to be a VP. And we'll see how well the students can help us build that AI over the next several months. So thank you, Michele. And I'll ask Varner. And then probably Yasi. So Varna, what's your priorities for ISSIP 2024-2025 as a board member?
Yes, Jim. Look, I'm very excited about the online presence that has been achieved by the organization and the new website that really drives the presence in the digital world. Michele highlighted the growth on LinkedIn. And of course, with that online presence, we expect to see a continuous trend. I will be the bridge into Cisco. I am one of the bridges into Cisco and really want to drive more participation from Cisco employees, highlighting the efforts that the team is doing here to bring more of the members from a Cisco perspective into these conversations and into the many events that ISSIP drives. So that will be my angle to say we need more people. I am that bridge, so let me take advantage of that bridge position to highlight the good work that you guys are all doing here. So that will be my my focus for the next year.
Thank you. Great, and it's great to have you know, for people who don't know, Cisco is one of the founding board founders of ISSIP, so been around for the 12 years with huge support from so many people at Cisco over the years. And thank you, Varner. You've made some important decisions as a board member participating in the executive committee, and I can't tell you how grateful I won't go through it on this call, but there's several things I go, oh gosh, so glad we had Varner. He really helped us with that decision, and it's big ones too. So I really do thank you, Varner. Your insights and experience are just hugely valuable to the community. So thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity, Jim. Thank you.
And Yasi, I believe, is on. If Yasi could be.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So my priority is getting more of my students. I lead the HCI MS program at UCSC, and I would like to get more of my students, more engaged in ISSIP. And so my students are design students. And so one of the things that I would like to get them engaged in is to do some UX research where to find how we can get more students more engaged in ISSIP in the way that they stay around as they transition from, the school to the professional world. So they get, give, grow to continue to grow. So yeah, that's my priority. And I want to really compliment Michele for the online presence that she has created, the website, the social media. And I think it's been great. And it's wonderful to see the ISSIP platform grow this much. So thank you. And thank you to everyone, all ISSIP members, all volunteers.
Great, thanks, Yassi. And Yassi, of course, was there at the beginning as well, our founding executive director. So thank you, Yassi, deeply. I see Annie Hardy, our board member, is also on. So Annie, do you want to talk about your priorities?
I would love to. So the favorite thing that I did last year, it's been an interesting year, but the favorite part of it was taking my responsibilities at Cisco for driving thought leadership around innovation, driving that directly into conversations with students. So I was able to participate with one of our newest members of ISSIP, the University of Washington at Tacoma, correct?
Right.
And I was able to sit down with the students, and some of the content that I create for Cisco to educate and inform our internal folks about exponential technologies, I actually took that same content. I don't talk a lot at external conferences because I'm really widely internal facing and driving conversations and innovation from an enterprise perspective. But I loved getting the chance to sit down with these students and drive that philosophical consideration of the impact of technologies on humanity, on the future of work, ethical considerations. And so I thoroughly enjoyed being able to take students and professors, instructors as well, on a philosophical journey to consider the impact of these technologies, which is broader than just engineering. It truly is the future of everything. And the presentation was titled The Future of Trust in the Age of AI. And so as I build these things, when I'm talking about generative AI or talking about whatever it is I'm discussing internally, I love the idea that I can also bring that to extend the thought fodder, the creativity, curiosity fodder that we're able to instill within the students that are part of our university partnerships. So I want to do more of that, especially for as a tiered service that we provide to the members who are helping sustain the growth of ISSIP. That's something I'm very excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to have a brief conversation on that, I don't think I see Sunil on our last board member, but so I'll take a little bit of time. I know he has come up with some really energizing statements as well, Annie, about the student collaboration. And when I was recently talking to Yassi, I think just last Friday, we had a call and she was saying, the students really want a job. They graduate and they really want jobs. And so even if an ISSIP executive in industry can't hire them, doesn't have a job opening, just the act of talking with the students and maybe doing a mock interview or just giving them some advice. And I know you really encourage those University of Tacoma students that were trying to put together those entrepreneurial plans. And Sunil has also talked about the boosting of entrepreneurial energies in students. So Annie, I think that's a great direction, and I think ISSIP is perfectly positioned to to help with that. And I truly am optimistic that with our AI helpers, we will be even able to scale ourselves even more to provide some of that mentoring.
I
So-
cannot wait to interface with AI Jim.ai. Just, I can't wait.
I'm excited. You know, the Chat GPT, OpenAI just had their voice version they're starting to roll out, because that's, I think, how a lot of people want to do it, not typing, but just talking. And I don't see if Haluk is on or Amar. I'm looking for them, but I didn't see them. So I think they must have got called away. See, that's part of our problem is our ISSIP leadership is so busy. They can get called away at a moment's notice. And when your VP or your CEO asks you into a meeting, and we're dealing with people that have regular interactions with their CEO and senior leadership, if they say, we need you, you know, they can get called into meetings at any time. But I would love to have like the AI version step up when that happens and have some interactions. And I think we're getting there. Really encouraged. Yes, and that's true, Christine. I see in the notes that I do want to actually retire someday. That is part of the long-term planning there, Christine, for sure, to have my AI digital twin.
There is a digital gym. It does exist. San Jose did draft it.
It does. And I put the links into the chat earlier, so I will just do that again for anybody that joined late and doesn't have my digital twin links. And the open source version is coming as well. They're not perfect, but every week it seems like there's an advance that's making these better. And I do hope, you know, again, I just want to reiterate that the handbook is out there. I'll try to upload that in just a minute if people haven't seen that, but it is going on the website down at the bottom, as Michele said. And since we don't have Haluka Ramar or Sunil on, Michele, I think we're right at time.
Over to Deb, and we're back beautifully on time. Thanks to everybody.
I just want to say this has been one of the most exciting board calls I think we've had in a while. I love the level of participation we have. I love the level of engagement. I love all of the progress that I have just seen over the last 6 months coming from the ISSIP organization. So applause to everyone and many thanks to everyone. Encourage you, if you haven't checked the links in the chat yet, please go ahead and make sure that you click on those quickly before they disappear. I'm sure they'll be available in the transcript and the recording of the session for public use. But definitely a lot of great things going on. Definitely encourage you, be sure to sign off on the code of conduct, because we all want to be professionals in a professional organization. And I think there's some really good guidelines in that to make sure that we maintain that professionalism we're all striving for. And with that, thanks, Michele. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone, for all of the participation and the presentations today. And I hope everyone has a lovely rest of their week. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Stop recording.